Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Gold Coast edition of the Village Law SEQFC preview show. I'm Darren Lutton. I've just finished work and so have these guys, although they look like they maybe one of them's just starting his shift for the night. We've got Ross Fennick from Kingscliff. Ross, how you going?
Good, thanks, gents. How are you?
Good. So great to have you with us, and what a flying start to the season you're off to. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, mate. It's been a great start to the season, to be honest. It'd be hard pressed to wipe the smile off my face, to be honest with you. It's been fantastic. So yeah, just one more game. We've finished a third of the season already, and someone said we'd be finished, hopefully, sitting second at the end of the first third of the season. I would have said they were crazy, but yeah, just happy days at the moment, mate. Really happy days. So it's good.
Good stuff. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail shortly. We've also got Mark Madge from Football Gold Coast. Welcome, Mark.
Hello. I'm back again. I can't get rid of me realistically. And anywhere you turn, you can't get rid of me. I'm always there. But hello, thank you. I'm back again. Nice to be back.
Mate, do they give you a Football Gold Coast shirt?
I have multiple Football Gold Coast shirts. The only thing is, because I work from home now, I'm not needed in the office. So I cruise around my own.
It's a very good question, Darren. It's a very good question, mate. And I think he needs to start representing where he's from personally. He could be wearing that polo shirt from now on, in my opinion. But that's just me.
The man in black.
Always black.
All right, Mark, I might just throw things open to you right now. Just we've obviously been away for a couple of weeks. Bring us up to date with what's happened and where we're at. We've got Surfers Paradise, top of the table, undefeated. Kingscliff in second, Nerang in third, Southport in fourth.
I mean, the last couple of weeks in the Premier League has been, I guess, pretty all over the place, if you like for a better word. I mean, there's a lot of games that have been postponed, a lot of games that have been, washed out, fixtures galore, results unpredictable. You've had teams come back from 3-0 down to win 4-3. Ross came back fantastically at Nerang when he was down at half-time to come back and win that game, which is massive 3 points for them a couple of weeks back. We've had blowout scores, we've had tight scores, we've had 0-0 draws. We've had everything, and that's what the Gold Coast Premier League always serves up. I mean, at this current point in time, you look at the table, Surfers are flying high, conceded one goal now in 720 minutes of competitive football, including the FFA Cup, which is crazy. I know we've talked about this stat a lot, Ross and myself, in the past. It's crazy to think about in amateur local football, and the goal difference shows that. Like, their goal difference is probably good enough for a team for the whole season already at this point in time. So crazy. They've been scoring goals aplenty. But the rest of the competition, I mean, you've had big upsets with Runaway Bay beating Broadbeach a couple of weeks back, which was a shock to a lot of people on that day. But all in all, I mean, at this current point in time, if you had to ask, is that top four going to remain the top four? Hard to say. Form-wise, the top four is what it is because of the form that they're in. But again, Palm Beach is a team of focus there. They've lost twice at home already, a fortress for them, a lot of injuries, a lot of things going on around the place. So, I mean, that's why we love Gold Coast football. It's always good fun.
Rabina at the bottom, Nil Dupois. What's going on there?
I mean, I said at the start of the year, it's tough. It's tough when you lose a whole squad for 3 consecutive seasons. And I think, last year, COVID helped them quite a lot with the likes of Lockie Roos coming back and a lot of those players coming into the fold. They got in a good role. Shortened season helped a lot of teams as well. I mean, I'm not going to go into full detail of what I mean by that, but a lot of having a 14-game season meant a bit of a roll, 2, 3, 4 games. If you think about the role Kingscliff are on at the moment, they're on 3 straight wins. One more win, and it's a third of the season they would have won straight last year. So because of that short season last year, a lot of those teams got on good rolls and rode that momentum. Rabina this year haven't had that opportunity. And I mean, they've had tricky games. Like, if you look at their games, they played Kingscliff away. They've played Palm Beach away. They've played Surfers away. Now, I don't think, to be honest, and I'll say this openly, if those games were at Rabina, I don't know if the result would have been much different. But considering they haven't had a home game yet and we're in round 6 and not going to have one for another 3 weeks, it might be tough for them in recent weeks. This next 5 days is their most crucial period. I mean, for those that have listened to the GCPL pod this week, they might not have yet, but I do mention that these next 5 days are crucial for Robina. It can change everything for them. They've sort of had the opposite of what Broadbeach has had. Broadbeach have had 6 consecutive home games. So, I mean, there is a lot there going on at Robina. But look, they have some players there that can make a difference. Will they put themselves in a position where it's going to be hard to come out of? I don't know. Time will tell.
A Broadbeach on the way back?
Tough to say. From patches that I've seen, looked really good. Patches that I've seen, a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes. I mean, the game against Southport, which I'm sure you'll go into, if you look at Southport's goals, it was 2 errors and a penalty that they scored off. So, you know, Damien Thomas was visibly disappointed, as he should be. And Southport didn't play particularly well at all that day and still got 3 points. So, you know, those are the games. If Broadbeach are going to get to that level that they want to be, they need to, those middle of the pack games, which realistically the middle of the pack is 2nd through to 7th or 8th, they're the games you need to win. So what I fear for them is the second round where it's 7, 8 straight away. Sometimes you just need to go home and get a good, you know, you're at home, comfortable feel. Those away trips, I know it's on a long way on the Gold Coast. It's not going, you're not flying cross country to Barcelona or somewhere like that, but it's still not easy.
Ross, tell us about the season so far. Just 1 loss so far, and I think you might have got done in the FFA Cup as well.
Yes.
But everything's coming up peaches for you.
Yeah. Look, it's been a lot of hard work to get it that way, to be honest. Like, I think, you know, everyone knows how well we did last year in the Coast League and that. And then we sort of got into it and just thought, well, you know, we can't just have the same sides. I think we've got about 7 or so new players on board from different areas of the coast, really.
Was that, just sorry to interrupt you there, was that tough getting those guys into the club?
Yeah, look, it wasn't. It's tough to get them there, but then once they're here, they're like, oh, wow, something's happening here. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like little things like, you know, me and Mark have had many discussions about our recruitment, how we went about it and stuff like that. And we really just looked at like blokes, especially in the Coast League, that wanted to crack. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got a striker that's from Bond now. Obviously, you know yourself, Bond wasn't great last year, Darren, but what he was a quality striker that scored heaps of goals, and he come 3rd. Alavo come 3rd, and we said, look, how would he look in a better side? Do you know what I mean? So we got him down, and he looks fantastic, to be honest with you. I think Mark be able to tell you he's probably 5th or 6th on the top goal scorer chart in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? So he's scoring goals, he's doing really well. So we just look for those diamonds in the rough. We looked for, you know, Gold Coast Premier League reserve graders that we thought could make a step up into the first team. And, you know, we got a few of them from Palmy and that sort of thing, which was great. And yeah, it's just been, as I said, once they're here, they love it and they just embrace it and they just get, but yeah, it was hard getting them down to Kingsford because we're all pretty much down here. So that's it. But yeah, apart from that, mate, we just got together, just worked hard in pre-season. We didn't lose a game in pre-season. We won our first 2 FA Cup fixtures as well. And then come to Palm Beach and, you know, 3-0 up with about, I think it was about 11 to go in our first game of the season, and it all come crashing down. 6 minutes, worst 6 minutes of my life, when we drew 3-3, to be honest. So that was a bad start. And then obviously the Surface game is Surface. We put up a good show, but lost that game. So that's the first game we've lost since, I think, September 2019, that one was. So, and then obviously the FA Cup one, we lost to Sunshine Coast. But apart from that, we've just been working hard, and so many blokes have just surprised, I think, many, you know what I mean? Like, just in the team of the weeks and stuff like that, they've just been excellent. They've just played their hearts out. They believe in the cause, and they've just been absolutely excellent. You know, it's been fantastic. There's a buzz around the club, which has been unbelievable. I think, you know, our home games are some of the must-see things now. I think Mark's been a few times. It's a great atmosphere at the Den now. Now that we have a home game, a home field and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just been, the lads have bought in as a squad, and not just that, as a club too. The club's been excellent. We've had sponsors come from everywhere, which is just brilliant. So, yeah, it's been 25 long years, mate, but it's been, at the moment, it's been well worth it for the club. And yeah, just we're kicking goals and we're just hoping, we're just ticking boxes as we go along. So that's for sure.
Have you found during games that you've noticed the tempo's just that little bit faster? Or
yeah, 100%. I mean, there were days and I love the Coast League, and it's no disrespect.
No, you don't. Mate. Don't lie. You don't love it. Don't lie.
I do love the Coast League, mate. But and no disrespect to it, but there were some days we could just, mosey on about, and then things would happen. I think but in the Premier League, there's none of that. There's none of that at all. You know what I mean? It's every single game, every minute of every single game, you have to be ready to go and be firing, because if you're not, you'll get hurt. Like last week's a prime example. Last week, first 25, 30 minutes, Runaway Bay were parked in their own half, centre circle down. We make one long ball, we make a stupid foul, they take the free kick quickly, 1-0 Runaway Bay. Like that was it. It was just very, very simple stuff. And then obviously we kicked on after that, but that's not the point. The point is that if you switch off for that 1 minute, or 1 second, you get hurt. Surfers are a prime example of that. I don't think we played that badly against us. I really don't. But we never really, if we're honest with ourselves, apart from, I think, 2 opportunities maybe, we looked like we might score, as in might get an attacking sort of play. But the rest of the game, I thought we were on song. We made 3 mistakes. They punished us. That was it. 3-0. There you go. Thanks for coming. So, and then Palm Beach, I just told you about. We were dominated for 79 minutes? Something like that. 3-3. Simple. Yeah. So, yeah, but it's very different, man. Very, very different.
Mark, I might just throw to you there. We mentioned Surfers Paradise there. We can't go any further without acknowledging their fantastic effort in the FFA Cup last night. A massive 2-0 victory over Mitchelton. And I have to say, as soon as I saw that draw, I thought, Surfers will win that.
Surfers. I was there. I was doing stats, and I was there at the game. Comfortable 2-0. When I say that, they didn't look troubled much at all. I mean, you look at their squad. One thing you do have to mention, and you're probably not aware of this, Darren, is they've lost Fraser Hills now, who's gone signed for Brisbane City in the QPL. When Brisbane City came knocking, I'm not going to go dive into it, but they came knocking, and they came knocking not with a fist on the door, but they came knocking with a bulldozer ready to take the whole house, and they took him. But again, speaking to Alex about that, just touching on that, he just laughed because it's laughable, realistically, about this whole situation. But nevertheless, losing him and then coming into that game, tough for them. Mitchelton away, they had quite a lot of people there, to be fair, for a Wednesday night. Hard setup, hard to find, back end of Brisbane. Not really back end, but for us Gold Coasters, everything travelling more than 15 minutes is a bit hard to find. So they went up there and played a very professional performance and got through. I mean, it was important for them. They had that debacle last week of going up there and the lights not turning on. So, I mean, a 2-hour trip last week, another 2-hour trip this week. So, I mean, they went out there, got the job done, and now they have to move forward against another tough opponent in Capalaba at home. I'm biased to Gold Coast teams, and I always back my Gold Coast teams. I think we can win everything. I think Southport can go to Lions and get a result. So I back them the full way. Just want to touch on one thing that Ross did say, and I mean, he is humble with what he says, though. Realistically, that's Kingscliff team. No disrespect to those players, because now they're proper names in the Premier League and people know who they are. But those players never really played out and out, week in, week out, Gold Coast Premier League. I mean, you look at one player there who I always have a laugh about, and I shouldn't, is James Brennan up front. I mean, the guy was coming from reserves off the bench, and now he's only failed to score in one game, and that was Surface, where the whole team didn't score. So, Ross has done a good job in. I'm not just saying this because he's on here, and I've said it publicly before. He's done a good job of bringing those boys in and fitting them in and getting them going to that level. I mean, it's not easy to come in from reserve grade. It's not easy to come from a different club and perform straight away, but they have managed to do that. It's also not easy to bring in players externally to an existing squad and get them up to speed and get them acclimatized and worked in. It's probably harder at some points. Good players and top level players, it can go one or two ways. They can come in and be great from minute one, or they can absolutely poison everything you've done. but bringing players who needed to, one, self-belief in themselves that they can play at that level is hard enough to do, but they've done that. And credit to Kingscliff for that. So just I was going to add to your recruitment part that they have done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
It shows. I mean, their target, correct me if I'm wrong, would have been fantastic if we achieved the top 4. Now, as things change, now you sort of think, can we snag into that top 2 spot come midway point of the year and play in the President's Cup? I mean, there's nothing stopping them. They've played the top 2 teams from last year already. So, and they played Nerang at Nerang, tough game again. So anything's possible now.
Yeah, and to the credit of those lads too, Mark, that it's been absolutely seamless, to be honest with you. They've come in from pretty much day dot in pre-season, just got a feel of the players and just like, oh yeah, this is all right here. And they've just embraced the culture, they've embraced the people, they've embraced our whole club. Every lad that's come in, from Olavo to Remy to Simon, Justin, all those lads, Andy Manier, they've just been fantastic. And you got like, you've just said James Brown, I'll give him a rap as well, mate. He's so selfless. As a number 9, there's not many selfless number 9s in the world. They're usually the bloke that sits up there and chucks his hands up about when things don't go his way. Just Billy's best attribute is defending, mate. Is the way he works, and he put the pressure, he puts the centre backs, and he goes. It's just unbelievable. And he the ball, you know, his goals are never pretty, but you know, from 6 yards he'll put it away just because he's the one that's created the opportunity from his defence. And yeah, he's just one bloke that I think, you know, not a young fella. I mean, he's not old. He's 27. He's not, you know what I mean? But he just wanted an opportunity. He got one, and he's grabbed it with 2 hands. To be honest, so it's been brilliant. So.
All right, let's turn now to this weekend's fixtures. Looks like we've only got 3 matches on this weekend, Mark. Is that right, with the cup?
Only 3, kicking off tonight at Southport versus Nerang. Massive game in that one. I mean, for me, I've said it whole week, it's got draw written all over it. I know it sounds boring. Those 2 teams, Ross is hoping for a draw, as you can see. Every coach hopes for a draw in games that they're not involved in. I don't know. I just don't think either side is going to go out there and be open enough to put themselves out and risk the loss. I mean, both are capable of winning, don't get me wrong, but I just think it'll just be tight, tough, 8:15 kickoff. It's just midweek. It's not your conventional weekend game. So I think it'll be tough for both teams. I think, Southport coming off that point against Surface was massive. They backed it up with 3 points against Broadbeach and not a pretty win. But, you know, they've got players that can hurt you, and so do Nerang. Both players have, you know, great in attack. They've got good attacking players, good midfielders, and don't give many opportunities defensively. I mean, the performance Southport put on against Surface, I don't care what anyone says. I've said this publicly, and I will stand by this again. No one could have done what Southport did against Surface for 90 straight minutes. When you sacrifice attack in amateur football, you're not relying on players that are professional ex-pros to lock it up in a Champions League match away from home and play for 0-0. You're telling amateur boys to go out there and to not run with the ball, not attack, don't get caught out of position for 1 minute. And even though they did do that, Surface still had opportunities to hurt them at stages. But I think having that discipline in place, and what Steve McDonald has done at Southport, is he's made them accountable and put that discipline right in place and said, listen, this is your job. If you can't do it, I've got players capable of doing it on the bench, which he does. I was just saying this actually earlier today. Southport have a good 13, 14 players that are all pretty much on par. So when you bring in players, you're bringing sort of like for like. Anyone can do a different job on the day. So that's the benefit there. Nerang are always going to be strong. Last year was just a blimp in Lee Vernon's coaching career, and that was injuries, getting used to it. Short season was the opposite for them. The longer the season went, maybe not last year because of the injuries, but the longer the season generally goes, they get into it more and more. And that win against Palm Beach, that will come into this match with confidence, like they should.
I think the interesting thing about tonight is the fixture, like putting it on the Thursday night. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, Steve would have had a choice where this game was played, because it was due for the Saturday, wasn't it? And he obviously, the FA Cup game's on the Sunday, so he couldn't play on the weekend. So he could have put it after the Cup game or before the Cup game. And I think it tells you everything that he's put it before the Cup game. So I honestly believe that he'll have, it's his last game suspended. Is that right, Mark?
Last game.
So last game. So whether it's he just wanted to be at Lions in the box, beautiful, thank you very much, or or it's more about being fresher legs on tonight. I think it says a lot about where they're thinking and where they're at, to be honest with you. So massive draw though, 5-all, 3 red cards, just massive.
I'm going 1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
Fair enough. No, it's going to be a cracker. I think. I really do. I think it'll be a defensive game. I think, but I think it'll
be 6-5, and there'll be hat tricks galore. And
I've
been proven wrong. I get proven wrong every week. I'm always outspoken, but something's going to happen.
That's it. So
we've also got a clash at the bottom of the table: Runaway Bay against Rabina.
Anything can happen here. I can't even tell you what I expect to happen, because anything can happen. Intel tells me that there might be some key Rabina players not there this week. Don't hold me accountable for that, anyone, by the way. And that's not coming from Rabina either. So I speak to quite a few people. So something tells me that there might be a few players missing. But again, realistically, it doesn't matter. They're going to be 11 versus 11, and it's going to go down to who wants it at the end of the day. Nathan Jones pretty much summarised that in the game against Musgrave that they did lose at home. Was Musgrave just wanted it more than they did. And sometimes in our level, it just comes down to that. If you want it more than the others, you'll get the win. Big day at Runaway Bay. They've got legends who are high-flying top of the table in the Coast League. They're featuring there at 3 o'clock. So big four senior games there, juniors in the morning. They'll be pumping, they'll be singing, they'll be ready to go. So they'll hopefully get their boys up for it. And I think, a win here for either team looking forward into Tuesday night's catch-up games that we have as well will be crucial for both those teams. More so, I'd say Rabina at this point in time, need the 3 points more. They've got that security of 3 points already on the board. It's just mentality-wise, you need to get those points chalked up quickly. So I think bigger game for Rabina. Both will be up for it. Flip a coin.
Draw.
It could be 3 draws this weekend, though. Who knows?
Two draws. I know. That's who knows.
Well, let's get to that game. Ross, you're taking on Musgrave.
Yeah, of course we are. Feels like we're always taking on Musgrave. But it's last year, I think we played each other like 4 times and that sort of thing. But it'll be a good night. To be honest, they've only got the win against Bay, but I think they've been in. I watched them against Burleigh the other week, and they're in that game right to their eyeballs. They didn't have much possession, but on the counter attack, they were super quick. The young fellow on the right, apologies, his name has got me here.
Sonta, and remember that name for everyone out there.
Sorry. Yeah, he's lightning and he sets things up. And then, with someone like Speck up front, I think they can always score goals, to be honest with you, but they've got to get it there. Look, talking about us, we've got a couple out, and they've been out for the last couple of weeks, obviously, since that FA Cup game. But we're going strong. We know, as I said last week, 7-1. We scored some absolute belters last week, and we're just ready to go. We know that with a win on Saturday, and I know the goal difference massive. We're equal with Surface. Come Saturday at about 9 o'clock, 9:30. Mark's laughing, but that's okay, mate. That's all right. I just look at a table and that's what it says. So,
Loves it.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, we just know that we're there. We're equal first with 3 games to go. And you know what I mean? If we can keep on keeping on, the first tick is to be, can we play in the President's Cup? Can we be in that top 2?
Can you host the President's Cup?
Yeah, of course. Well, Surface will get done somewhere along the line. This unbeaten thing can't keep going. Seriously. So, but yeah, no, look, we're pretty confident. Are we looking forward to a week off next week? Look, we're the only team that hasn't had a week off with the rain and stuff like that, and even COVID. We managed to keep playing. So I think we worked out our lads has had one weekend off since January 16th. So. Yeah, it's a long period, obviously. So we're looking forward to one big push to this 90 minutes Saturday, and then we know we get the weekend off the week after. So didn't want the weekend off. Wish we could have beaten Sunshine Coast, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. So we'll take it. And then, look, with the quality we have, if we're honest with ourselves, with the player like Jeremy Green, who, he's just unreal, absolute freak, the likes of Remy, Ollie at the back, all those lads. With the quality we have, we should, we like to think we should get the points on the weekend. And if we're realistic about where we want to be and we want to be in that top 4, top 2, we have to get the points on Saturday, plain and simple. It's not a need or a want, it's a have, and we just have to do it. So, but yeah, so it's a big game, always is, at Musgrave. We've had some major battles, including grand final day last year. So yeah, we believe in ourselves and we believe in the quality we have. And, we've got a few knocks, we've got a few bruises, we've got a few things, but we feel confident enough to get the 3 points, for sure.
Very good. All right, Mark, let's wrap up the show by taking us through what's happening in Coast League.
I will. Before I do so, I just want to make a special mention of Musgrave. They've organised a Anzac Day Eve service in between the reserve grade and the first grade game on the weekend. So well done to them with the Southport RSL. So to Michelle and the whole club, well done. Jumped on board and going to be there in the party there. That's going to be part of the service. So again, for all those fans looking for a game to go down to, Keith Hunt Park, it'll be a cracking game. Good service before to commemorate everything that stand for. So again,
4 games too, Mark.
4 games, whole day, big day at Keith Hunt Park. So thanks. I thought I'd just touch on that quickly. Coast League. Everything's happening in Coast League. 11 teams. Games, you think Premier League's got games everywhere? Coast League have got games everywhere. I mean, some teams have only played 2 games. Some teams have played the full complement of games. You've got an over 35s team running the competition and top of the table in both firsts and reserves. So how long that will last, God knows. Could be 1 week, could be 10 weeks, I don't know. It would be crazy to see them playing in a playoff game, put it that way. But it can happen. Talabudra is probably the team that a lot of people are looking at.
Any team with Matt Hilton in it's a chance.
We've got Matt Hilton. So Matt Hilton is those who watch the show know he's an MVP candidate in Premier League year in, year out. Top scorer candidate, if not the top scorer year in.
You've already given the medals to him, haven't you? You've already given him the top goal scorer this year?
I might as well actually. Yeah. I might as well go call the trophy people now and get it, because the guy just.
I thought you did that. Yeah.
It doesn't matter where he plays, he'll score. So he can play in the European Super League and score goals.
It probably is.
But like I said, Talabudra flying high. Tough game for them though for this tomorrow night. They've got Mudgeeraba away. Now, why it's a tough game? They're playing 3 games in a week. A lot of those boys are a bit experienced, so it's tough on those legs. I mean, from their Pack Pines game earlier in the week, I just know this one because I got a bit of wind of it. They were 4-0 up after 15 minutes. They still won, but they won 4-3. So, legs can tire, but, again, there, you got Mudgeeraba, you got Tweed, you got a lot of clubs there that independent clubs, first and foremost, that are well up there, almost showing that they can match it with anyone, competing really well there against all the teams. Tambourine, the boys up the mountain have come in and given it a good crack. So anything in Coast League is still possible. You have to wait and see until all these games get caught up on who's contending, who's not, because it's hard when you've got one team that's played 5 games and hard with one team that played 2. It's hard to get a good gauge on where everyone is.
I was about to say, this is Mudgeeraba's second game, isn't it?
Third. They played
third.
So again, they hadn't played for like 6 weeks in Coast League because of wet weather, ground, COVID, Easter, all the things that went around. They drew 0-0 with Ormo at home. So it's hard to say. Anything can happen in Coast League. Again, with the promotion situation, it's bottom plays top in a 2-leg playoff to see who gets that spot. God knows what spot that's going to be. Sorry for my frustration, my voice. It could be European Super League. It could be MPL. It could be QPL 10. I can't tell you. I don't know. But we're going to have a playoff for something. It might be just for a gold coin. I don't know. It could be a chocolate bar. But anyway, so Coast League is in full flight. Games galore. great time in the southeast during the winter period, usually with sunshine and beautiful days. So I'm expecting full complement of games week in, week out. The issue is going to be, again, for those teams that have to catch up games, because they haven't been able to train a lot. 3 games in a week is tough for anyone, even teams that train at elite levels. So who knows? That's why we love it. Keep an eye out.
That's it, mate.
All right, guys, we might leave it there. They're about to turn the lights off in my building. So
just quickly, Darren, just quickly, if you don't mind, just want to say thank you to both of you two gentlemen for all the exposure you bring to the football in the southeast, and that it's second to none. Darren, yourself with this program, but Mark, especially you, mate, with the newspaper and everything you do on Football Gold Coast and everything like that, mate. It's absolutely brilliant. So not just from Kingscliff, but apart from everyone on the Gold Coast, guys, we're just really happy to have it, and we really appreciate it. So that's it. And go the Wolves. That's the other thing. So
thank you very much for that, Ross Fennick.
And, no worries, guys.
Mark Madge from Football Gold Coast, thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Take care,
guys. We'll be back next week, and this weekend, enjoy football. Plenty happening. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks.